This is HUR Voices on SiriusXM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharrarne Morton.
You're listening to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM Channel 141. This is Carl Brown, your host, and I'm going to tell you, it's been a great day.
Oh,
wow. If you
I
talk
love
about
that,
hitting
Carl.
home runs,
Yes.
well, you know, I hit a couple of them today.
Okay, now go ahead.
I got some home runs, some slam dunks, and a
Go
touchdown,
ahead,
baby.
Carl. You up there with the Nationals, okay? The Nationals, the world champions.
They did their thing.
Yes, and you did too today.
You know, and I did too. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was a good day.
Don't you all like hearing that? I mean, I get the pleasure of sitting next to this man every week as his co-host, and he always does the thing. I mean, it's not just today, but all the time. So that's congratulations.
We tried to.
Yeah, hard working. Like so many of our listeners, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Tell our listeners, like you always tell, what you do, all the great things the Small Business Development Center does.
Oh, my God, man. We are working with 579 customers right now. 579.
Those are business owners, not just customers. Business owners who come to you.
They come in, and I'm going to tell you, it's such a pleasure working with people and making their dreams come true. Mm-hmm. You know, because they come to you with an idea, or they come to you with nothing, and they say, hey, can you help me?
Right.
And we create this on canvas, this mosaic, beautiful picture.
Yeah, you turn dreams into reality.
Dreams into
for
reality.
Business owners, and we all know how hard it is to own a business. I'm a business owner, MortonMediaTV.com. I also have a Skin Deep skincare company, SkinDeepBeautyStore.com. It's very, very challenging, but when you have shops like Carl's at the DC Small Business Development Center, or you're anywhere in this country.
If you're in Minnesota,
anywhere,
Miami, it doesn't matter. Yeah. We are everywhere.
Yeah.
So
go
to americassbdc.org or dcsbdc.org and check us out.
And get free counseling, too.
Free counseling.
Yeah.
Free counseling.
Yep.
I want to tell you about this exciting young lady that we're going to talk to, Dana Holly of Holly's Haven Assisted Living Facility, LLC.
Wow.
Amazing. An amazing person. And I'm going to tell you, I can't wait to get her on the phone.
She owns a couple of assisted living facilities. A
couple.
A
and
young
that's
woman.
The future.
Yes, it is the future. It's where we all probably will end up once we get to a certain age.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky,
we'll wind up there.
Yeah.
And have a beautiful woman like Holly, Dana Holly, administering our medicine.
Okay, well, I want a beautiful man, okay?
Well, that's true, too. Yeah.
But anyway.
I want a beautiful woman.
Right.
I tell my kids all the time, just wipe the drool. That's all. Just make Dad look all right.
And at 3:30, we're going to be talking about building ownership in the Small Business Administration 504 program. So we'll be right back after these messages here on the Small Business Report on SiriusXM Channel 141, HUR Voices.
This is HUR Voices on SiriusXM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharrarne Morton.
You're listening to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM Channel 141. Talking to Dana V. Holly, owner, CEO, manager of Holly's Haven Assisted Living Facility, LLC. Welcome to the show, Dana.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
We're glad to have you on. Carl has done nothing but talk so highly of you, speak so highly of you and your business, in that you own 2 assisted living facilities, which is a wonderful thing because you have tapped into something that we all are going to need.
You tapped
once
into
we get
the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The future is now, that's what you're doing.
I mean, Americans get living longer. They get, and so they're going to need assisted living.
That's right. Yeah. And I'm assuming that's what you were thinking when you open up these facilities. Tell us what exactly you do, and why did you start with an assisted living facility? Why did you decide to go into that venture?
Okay, so I am the owner of Holly's Haven Assisted Living Facility. I'm also the owner of Holly's Haven, the Haven Independent Supportive Housing, as well as Holly's Haven Consulting Company. All of these businesses are located in the greater Baltimore area. actually walking distance from the Ravens Stadium.
Okay.
All right.
See, we like to hear people who have multiple streams of revenue because that's what you have to do nowadays. You know, so
Yeah.
Well, you an empire builder.
yeah,
Yeah.
a conglomerate. So
So,
three
I've
different
been in the
things.
healthcare field since 2000, and I've been in the ALF business since 2016.
Okay.
Yes, I chose this because I felt it was an excellent career choice. It's high in demand, and it's still growing. It's a very rewarding business, and most importantly, this is my passion and definitely my purpose.
Oh my
You know
God.
what?
I
You know
love
what,
that.
Carl? My former neighbor, she turned her home into an assisted living facility. She moved out of her home and turned it into a assisted living facility, and she is so super successful. So that one house
Right.
is now about 8 or 9 assisted
Wow.
living facilities that she has.
Well, I'm sure Dana will be that way as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I love your passion. So what made you think about just opening up the first one? What was the impetus on that?
Well, one, I wanted to make a difference. I decided to go into business for myself for many reasons. First and foremost, I wanted to pursue my passion. I felt I had a great idea. I've always been a very hard worker, and one day I just decided, it was time to invest that hard work into myself
That's
and
right.
stabilizing a foundation for my son and I, knowing that I had the opportunity to earn unlimited income based on my own efforts and the success or failure of what I've created.
So did you just go out and see like a building and say, okay, I want to turn this into an assisted living facility? I know it wasn't as easy as that, or was it?
No, it was not that easy, but
Nothing ever is, right,
played
Holly?
around. Yeah, so it was like many locations that I was interested in, and what I actually done was I took over my mom's home.
Okay.
Yeah, so my mom, she had this home when my brothers and I were kids, and everyone has moved out and, doing their own thing, so she was left with this big home and a big piece of property next to it. So I took over and turned it into my facility, my first facility.
Oh,
Wow.
wonderful.
So you had to go through all the red tape through the state. You had to get licensed. You had to do all of that, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
I'm sure
And how was that process? Walk
challenging,
us through
I'm sure.
that.
Yeah.
It was very challenging, and it was definitely a lot of work. And like I tell everyone, it's not easy, but it's obtainable. Like if I can do it, you can do it.
Right.
You have to go through like numerous inspections. You have to apply for a use and occupancy, a reasonable accommodation. You have to get the fire inspection, the zoning inspection, and then last the state inspection.
Right. And that means you have to do a whole lot to get to pass those inspections. I used to own a
absolutely.
daycare center many, many years ago, and there was so much that needed to be done in order to get approved and
Right.
in order to open up. How many people were you approved for? Like how many folks are you allowed to have in your
The first home I was
facility?
approved for 7.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
right. That's a
And
lot.
levels of care from levels 1 to 3.
Okay. And did
Okay.
you have to hire someone to take care of them, or did you do that yourself?
You know
Just
what?
starting
Honestly,
off.
The first year of business, I was so broke because I, invested everything into the business. I did everything out of pocket.
Yeah.
And for the first year, I was confined to my business 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to that.
and then-
Our listeners need to hear that, right, Carl? That
They have to be
Yeah.
dedicated.
committed, dedicated, and know
Yes.
that you're not alone. You're not the only one out there that is, dedicating all of your everything to this business.
But
Yeah,
it all pays off though, Dana. It really does.
It does, because now I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it feels really good now that I have staff in place, and
That's
I
great.
don't even have to really step foot into my facility unless I need to or I want to for something.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so the first year, you were working it yourself, taking care of your patients yourself. And thankfully, you were able to do that because you said you had a healthcare background, right?
Yes, and you know what? It was a lot of work because I wore all hats. I
Yeah.
was the care provider, I was the cook, I was the housekeeper, I did the laundry.
Oh,
I had
that's
to
a
still
lot.
promote myself. I had to go out and assess potential clients. I wore so many hats, and let me also say that my facility, we offer hospice care.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, so
All
I
right.
actually had a resident that was here on hospice.
Wow. Oh, my
So
gosh.
it
I
was-
take my hat off to you.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
telling you.
definitely a lot, but it just, I mean, it seemed easy because it was something I really wanted to do.
So you know what? When you say that, I just want to, digress for a second. Is it kind of painful to see your resident in that situation, in that state?
Yes.
And how do you take care of yourself?
Yes.
You know,
Carl.
because if you in there 24/7,
Right.
you are it.
And you said you had a son, I believe.
Yes.
So was he there with you as well?
No, so he actually stayed with his dad for a year while
Okay.
I got my business established. But he would come, when he was out of school, he would come and he would help me out around the facility, which was a really big help, as well as,
Right.
me being able to spend some time with him.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to lose a resident, because when you have these individuals, you're pretty much, for a lot, you're pretty much all that they have. Like, they don't have any family.
Right.
Oh,
So
no.
Yeah.
you become attached, they become attached.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Wow.
it's hard to lose them. But one of the reasons why I offer hospice here is because, like I said, when these people come, for the most part, we're all that they have. And I
Wow.
just feel like
Yeah.
if you're here and I'm caring for you, when you get to the point of, end of life, I still want to be here caring for you.
Oh,
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that takes
yeah.
a special kind of
Woo.
person
Yeah.
to do
but
that.
but I still want to know, how do you take care of you?
That's a really good question. And I tend to put myself last.
Which business owners do. Carl
Yeah.
talks about that.
I put myself last. I definitely neglect myself a lot. And
That's
it
not
takes some
good.
time to find a balance. And I'm still working on perfecting that balance.
Well, that's good. She's still working on it,
Yeah,
Carl.
you gotta work on it.
I'm
Yeah.
working on
You gotta
it.
work on it, but
Yeah.
you gotta have that
Yeah.
balance.
You definitely do.
You gotta take care of you, because if you're no good, you're no good to nobody.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, that's correct.
And you know what? What I thought was interesting, Dana, because you have 2 assisted living facilities. Do you plan to branch out and get another one and another one? I mean, do you plan to increase the number of facilities you have?
Absolutely. So my plans are to definitely expand.
Okay.
I'm hoping that soon I can hopefully find a building, maybe like a 16-bed facility that I can open.
Okay. What's your second? How many beds do you have in your second facility? I know you said the first one is 7
I have
people.
6.
Oh, so it's 7 in one facility, 6 in the other.
And 6 in another.
Okay.
Yep.
So you want to grow to?
Yeah, and I would
okay.
like to consolidate, and just have everybody together. I would also
okay.
like to open up a home that's just specifically for hospice.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
And I
That's
also
nice.
wanted to
Wow.
open a low-income home, because there's so many, individuals out here that don't really have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
because of that, they can't get the care.
Yeah.
And I just feel like even though they don't have as much as another, they still deserve care.
I was going to ask you, you brought up money. I was going to ask you after the break about, I'm assuming a lot of your income comes from the government. Is that right? Because some of your patients may get, I guess, help or health care or something
Social
from the
Security
government.
or
Yeah.
something?
Or Medicare or Medicaid. I'm not sure.
Not the insurances, but a lot of my residents, mostly all of my residents are veterans.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
yeah.
well, Holly,
Like-
I mean, Dana, let's hold that, and we got to go to break real quick, and then we'll finish that up on the after the break.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM channel 141.
This is HUR Voices on SiriusXM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharrarne Morton.
You're listening to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM channel 141. Talking to Dana V. Holly, owner, CEO, manager of Holly's Haven Assisted Living Facility, LLC.
Oh, you know what, Dana? Before we go into questions, is there a number or website or something that?
let the audience know your info, how to
Yeah.
get in touch with you.
Okay, so I can be contacted via Instagram at Assistant Living Bay.
Okay, I like that. Bay as in B-A-E?
Yes,
Assisted
BAE.
Living Bay. I love it. Okay.
I can also be found on Facebook. You can look me up under my name, Dana Holly, or you can look up my business page, Holly's Haven Assistant Living Facility.
Okay.
I operate off of social media.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and my contact number is 443-633-1768.
So we were saying before the break, you were saying that a lot of your patients are veterans, and Carl and I were saying that is the perfect population to help, to assist, because they need as much help as they can get.
They do.
And how do you get them? Do you work with the Veterans Administration and let them know?
I do. I have a really strong relationship with the VA hospital.
Okay, great.
So whenever someone is in need of placement, I always get the call, and I go out and assess, and 9 times out of 10, I usually always take that resident.
Okay, that is great.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to go looking. The VA sends you your patients.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing.
What kind of services do you provide them? Because a lot of them need, mental health assistance and all kinds of assistance. Do you have staff that help with that, or does the VA take care of that?
So the VA, they're like so resourceful. So they have everything. Like they have podiatry, they have mental health, they have the primary care physicians. But what we do on our end, we offer the transportation to get them to and from all of their appointments.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
At their appointments.
Yeah. And you do what at their appointments?
We accompany them, like we'll stay there with them and, help them do their appointments.
That's great.
Yeah.
This is your staff.
Take notes and stuff for them and, talk to the doctor because sometimes they'll leave stuff out.
Yeah. This is your staff that does this, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Or myself.
Yeah.
Mostly myself. And my mom helps a lot. And I really like to be hands-on. Like I like to hear firsthand, what's coming from their doctors.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
That is, I'm fascinated. Carl was right. He was like,
didn't I tell you?
Carl was like, this girl is on the ball. And you know what I really like? I like that you are talking to our audience, our listeners, about, being in business and how hands-on that you have to be and how you're still hands-on, although you're successful. You have a second facility, but you're still right there doing the work. And
I'm actually here now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that it doesn't ever stop. Really, a business is like your baby. Yeah,
it doesn't.
Yeah.
So how does one get started? Like if I'm sitting at home listening to the show, how does one get started if this is a career that I'm interested in?
Yeah, if they want to open up an assisted living facility.
Okay. So honestly, I would say that the initial start has to begin within, and I say that because this has to be a decision that you are sure about and willing to commit to before anything else can flourish.
Mm-hmm. It has to be a passion.
Once you have established that, it's go time. When I consult others, I always recommend that a location is the first thing that you want to tackle. You want to find your location first because that's the biggest piece, of course. And there are classes that you would have to take to obtain the ALF credentials, but I've seen a lot of people that will take the classes, have a hard time finding the location, and then by the time they find a location, their certifications has expired.
Oh, okay.
So I always say find the location first, then obtain your credentials, and also all of the permits and stuff that you would have to apply for. You can't do it if you don't have that location.
Okay. And they could do like
can I insert this? Because we're going to be talking about this on the second half of the show. But once you find that location, buy the location. Buy it. B-U-Y. Buy it.
Like don't lease
it. So you own it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the lease goes up, up, and then next thing you know, you're out of business.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
do you lease? Would you lease your second location, or do you own the second location, Dana?
I own the second one.
Okay. You own both of them.
I don't frown upon leasing, and sometimes people think that they have to buy, but you don't. If you were to lease a property, you can lock in for 5 years.
Okay.
And you can establish yourself there. Like I tell people, use it as a stepping stone. Establish yourself there, and then you can branch out, move on. Because maybe by the time you're ready to branch out, you have a building, a 16-bed building that you can, transition all of your residents into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What services do you provide at your facility?
Ooh, we provide a lot.
A lot of
so it's 24-hour caregiving services.
Wow.
We have a nurse that comes out every 45 days and assess the residents. We do medication management, laundry services, housekeeping, transportation, assistance with ADLs, activities of daily living, bathing, grooming, dressing.
Wow.
And like I said, we do hospice care, and we also do respite care. And for those who don't know what respite care is, it's to provide a short-term relief for primary caregivers, whether it's a resident in another facility and that care provider needs a break, or a person that's taking care of their loved one. They could be going out of town on a vacation, and they need someone to care for their loved one for the duration of their vacation. That person can come to the facility and stay for a week or up to 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that
care.
was even available.
Yeah.
A lot
Wow.
of people don't know that.
Well, that's why we got you on the radio.
Right.
So that a lot of people will be educated about what's going on in the services that are provided.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted you to cover, too, human resources, because you are, have to stay on top of your staff. And how does that work in terms of, another layer to being a business owner is, having staff and keeping, keeping good staff.
And
Okay,
then,
so let me touch on the human resource part, because I am the human resource. That is me all the way. Like, I still wear a lot of hats, and I handle everything as far as the staffing and the recruiting and the interviewing and the payroll.
Wow.
The hiring, the terminating, the everything. I still handle all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and as far as staff, I feel like that is like the hardest piece. It's really, really hard to find good staff.
Believe me when I tell you that almost every guest that we've had on the show has said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge was
That is the
finding and keeping good people. So what do you do to combat that, to ensure that you get good staff? Because I'm assuming your area is high turnover, is it, in terms of staff?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here now, because I'm short on staff. Yeah, so whenever I have, like, a staffing issue, I'm not really quick to jump out there and just find someone to replace them, because I'm very selective and I try to choose as wisely as I can. So what I normally do is I'll jump in and I'll actually work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, until I come across what I think may be the right person for the job. And, my residents, they have to like this person as well.
Yes.
And this person has to be, understanding and patient and, just wanting to do this work and not just here for a paycheck.
Well, you're doing what most business owners do whenever they're short-staffed or need a staff person or an extra staff person. Until they get that person, they have to do it. They have to do it all. I was at a restaurant, and a restaurant owner was cleaning the toilet and fixing a table. And this is a very prominent restaurant owner. And he says, I don't care how many restaurants I get, I still have to wear at least a dozen hats.
Because of turnover.
Right.
Exactly, because of turnover. And, it's the restaurant is his baby, like this is for you.
Yeah.
We're so happy
and
that
you'll find no one will care for your business as you would.
That's right.
True.
and that's why it's difficult to hire good people, because we have this thing about no one's going to do it the right way because, we have a certain way that we want to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Give us your contact information again, and then tell us, because we're down to our last minute and a half. Yeah. What's next for you? Well, you said the 16-bed facility, right?
Yes. I have all these goals I have set for expanding, opening up a low-income home, hopefully one day a shelter, a hospice home,
That's wonderful.
and the building, a 16-bed building.
And you're on Instagram at Assisted Living Bay, BAE, Assisted Living Bay, and on Facebook under Holly's Haven Assisted Living Facility. It's been wonderful.
I'll tell you,
it's been great.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Carl was on target.
I've been a fan of yours from afar, looking at the pictures, and everything that I thought you are.
Yeah,
you're just an amazing person.
That.
Congratulations to
Congratulations,
Dana.
and please keep us informed of your success.
Yeah,
I will. I sure will.
So thank you for coming on the Small Business Report, Dana.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy Halloween, guys.
Same to you. Take care now, Dana.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're going to go right to break. We'll be right back on the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM Channel 141.
This is HUR Voices on SiriusXM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharrarne Morton.
You're listening to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM Channel 141. This is your host, Carl Brown. And in the studio with me today is Sharrarne Morton.
Your co-host. He makes it sound so formal. We've been knowing each other 100 years, like he likes to say.
I'm telling you.
So, Carl, we're going to be talking. We're doing the show this half, just Carl and I. We're going to be talking about building ownership and the Small Business Administration 504 program. We just finished talking to Dana Holly, owner of Holly's Haven Assisted Living Facility. She owns 2 buildings.
2 buildings.
Yeah, and Carl's going to talk about that. But first, Carl, I want you to tell everybody all the great things that the DC Small Business Development Center is doing. What will you be focusing on in 2020 for all of those small business owners out there who need assistance with starting or growing their business?
Well, first off, I want to say everything is free.
Right. So even if
everything
is
free, we eliminate all the barriers and all the noise for you to come in to see us, because all of our services are free and the workshops are pretty much free or low cost.
Mm-hmm. So there's no excuse to get help.
No excuse. I mean, we just had a lunch and learn workshop on HR sponsored by Insperity, right? HR company.
A human resources
resource company. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, the people were riveted to their seats. No one wanted to leave. There was 1,000 questions. I mean, the dialogue was just wonderful. I mean,
and these were all business owners, small business owners who had lots of questions about human resources, staffing, help. Yeah,
it was supposed to be an hour long. We wound up 2 hours.
Wow,
a little over 2 hours.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
they provided a great lunch.
Yeah, you can't beat that. Yeah,
Insperity, they're our business partner. They come in and they help. They talk about, what they could do for small businesses for, the whole HR function.
Right.
They take over the HR function for you.
And we want our listeners to know that if you're thinking about going into small business ownership, even if you don't own one right now, but you need some guidance, you can go to the DC Small Business Development Center or anywhere in this country, America's SBDC, America's Small Business Development Center, and get guidance on how to start your business. Start or grow your business for free. So what are you focusing on in 2020, which is right around the corner?
That's right. Well, I call it the Vision 2020.
Okay.
Vision 2020.
Vision 2020.
Because, when you go to the eye doctor, you try to get 2020 vision.
That's
right?
so right. I like
so I'm
it,
playing
girl.
on that. Yeah, I don't want you to be all cloudy and foggy.
Right.
I want you to be clear and focused.
Okay.
So 2 things, ownership and cybersecurity.
So ownership meaning owning what?
Owning your building, your restaurant, your retail space, your office space.
Whatever it is that
where you work your business out of, you need to own that. Because, we're hearing about all this gentrification is moving people out of certain neighborhoods and all this. Well, guess what? If you own your building,
they wouldn't be able to do that.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
but is it as easy done as said? Or what is it's easier said than done. That's what I meant to say.
But but if you're going to spend some money on red bottom shoes and Chanel pocketbook,
that's right.
Yeah, it's going to be real difficult for you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But if
that's
you're going to invest like Holly,
yes,
like
invest
Dana
in
Holly,
invest in yourself.
24/7.
Right.
Did you hear her?
Yeah.
24/7.
24/7. Yeah.
All right. If you're going to invest like that, then you're going to knock it out the park.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you how.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm not
Come
just
on with
going to
it.
talk about it. I'm going to show
You're
you
gonna be
how.
about it. Yeah.
So
how do you propose helping with ownerships of buildings, office space, restaurants, retail, all of these things that you named? How do you propose to tell our listeners how they can begin to own?
Right here in the DMV, there was a restaurant that I used to frequent called Woodside Deli.
Okay.
72 years. All right, 72 years, no longer in existence.
Right.
Was open, serving people on Friday, going on Saturday. What happened? The landlord said, "Here's your number. This is your new lease number."
And they couldn't afford it.
And they said, "No,
They
thank
had
you,"
to
and
go.
closed the door, and that's
After
done.
72 years.
But if they own the building, guess what?
They wouldn't have had a landlord to tell them that.
Wouldn't have had that problem.
That's right.
Barbershop in Brooklyn, 25 years, family barbershop. Everybody gets a haircut. Lost the lease.
Yeah.
Now they gone.
Yeah.
All right. So people need to realize that there are programs out here that'll help you.
That'll help them
buy a building.
their building.
Buy a
Okay.
building, buy office, condo, whatever you're trying to do. And for relatively little money.
Wow.
And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk
and
about
I'm not
it.
talking magic, smoke and mirrors. I'm talking real.
Okay. So this is called
So
what?
the SBA has a loan program called the 504 loan.
Okay, so folks, the SBA, that's the Small Business
Small Business
Administration.
Administration.
And they can go online, right?
They can go
SBA.org
online,
and get this information.
SBA.gov.
.gov, I'm sorry.
SBA.gov.
Okay, to find
All
out
right?
about this loan.
And plug it in. Or they can go into any SBDC around the country.
Small Business Development Center around
and
the country.
Get some help with, the loan paperwork that you need to put together to get this loan. We can help you with that.
Okay.
All right, so let's dig in.
What is the SBA's
So
504 loan?
This allows you to borrow money to purchase a building and or machinery.
Okay,
All right.
machinery.
So say
as
you
well.
got a printing company,
Right.
And you say, wow, I can. They come out with a new printer, and it's faster, bigger, and all this, and you can handle bigger jobs and all that.
Yeah.
You can, under the 504, you can buy that piece of machine,
Wow, the building and the machinery.
building and or
The machine. Okay.
You don't have to buy a building if you own the building you're in, but you just want to buy that new press.
That's going to allow you to print more.
You can do it.
Okay.
Any kind of fixed asset that's going to take a number of years to pay off. All right.
Okay. So how do you
Now,
qualify? This is a loan.
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
All right. So it's only requires you to put 10% down.
10% of the loan amount.
10% of the loan amount that you're looking for.
Wow. Okay.
10%.
Okay.
The SBA puts up 50, and the CDC puts up 40.
CDC stands
Is a
for the
commercial
community.
something-
Okay.
Nah, commercial bank.
Okay.
That the SBA has like 200 and some of them across the country.
Right. Okay.
And they put up 40%. You 10, them 40, the bank 50.
Okay.
All right? And it's guaranteed by the SBA.
Wow. So
All right?
you're going to get the loan more than not.
You're going to get
yeah.
the loan.
Okay.
So you say, well, how much can you get?
Yeah.
$14 million. You can go up to $14 million.
Wow.
And the loan is assumable. So if I buy a building and I sell the building to another small business,
They will assume that loan.
you can
transfer the loan.
assume
Okay.
that loan.
Wait a minute. So you don't have to reapply? You just
Nope,
assume
you
it
can
from the
assume
seller?
that alone.
Wow, Carl. Okay, so how do you qualify, though? I mean, say you want $1 million.
Okay,
You got to
that's
be able to
real
qualify for that.
Yeah.
You got to come
Well,
up with the 10%, of course.
So you
but-
got to add the 10%.
Right, that's
right?
part of it.
So that's only say you want $1 million. That's only $100,000.
Right,
well,
right.
That's a lot of money. We just
But
throwing
still,
numbers out there.
in
But
the scheme
people
of
are
things.
working with those numbers.
Right.
You must occupy 51% of the space in that building.
Okay.
Okay, the majority of the space you got to occupy
For your business.
for your business.
Okay.
And you have to create jobs. jobs.
Okay.
So that new printing press, you're going to hire somebody to run it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Or if you were a donut shop and you bought another oven,
Right.
you're going to hire somebody to make them donuts.
Right.
So you're creating a job. You have to have been in business 1 year.
That's
Okay,
it. Just
that's
one
it. I ain't
year.
say 10. I said 1. And have a credit score of 680 and no recent bankruptcies.
That's it.
That's it.
Come on,
That's
Carl.
it. That's it.
680.
680.
And no bankruptcies.
And no bankruptcies.
And you can get this loan.
And you qualify for this loan.
Okay, so let me tell you something. Now, if I had a business that required a building, I would take this loan. I would apply for this loan.
Like getting a TV studio.
Right, like getting a TV.
Mm-hmm.
I would get this loan, and I would use 51% of the building for my studio, and the other 51% I would live in it.
Well, the other 49.
Other 49, I would live in it.
You can live in it.
I could
rent
it out to other producers.
That's right. Yeah,
and
you can have like
I can have
a 3-story building.
Exactly.
Two stories and one you rent out.
Just rent out.
Yeah.
And that would pay back my loan right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
again, let's go over it again.
Well, okay.
Up
I
to
think we got
14
1 minute.
million. We got a minute.
Yeah.
14 million, 10%
Up to 14
down.
million, 10%
Right?
down.
The loan is assumable. It's guaranteed by the SBA.
Uh-huh.
So if you default, the bank gets their money. That's why the bank is cool with it.
Right.
You know. And then you have to occupy the space, majority of the space, create jobs, be in business 1 year, credit score 680.
You can't beat that with a bat.
So when we come back, we'll talk about what the loan can be used for.
Right. Yes, good information. We'll be right back after these messages. Listen, stay tuned. This is good information right here on the Small Business Report on WHUR Voices, SiriusXM Channel 141.
This is HUR Voices on SiriusXM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharrarne Morton.
You're listening to the Small Business Report here on SiriusXM Channel 141 HUR Voices.
Okay, I hope you all were listening to this last segment. Carl has been telling everybody about this Small Business Administration 504 loan. It's too good to be true. Carl, reiterate.
That's what I said. The Vision 2020. Vision 2020.
So you're going to be telling everybody about this 504 loan.
All year long.
So you said a person that wants to own a building, an office space, restaurant, retail, whatever, they can apply for this SBA loan, Small Business Administration 504 loan. They can borrow up to $14 million.
And only have to come up with 10% down.
All they have to do is have 10% down. They have to have occupy 51% of the building.
Create jobs. Been in business a year. Credit score 680.
And no bankruptcies.
No recent bankruptcies.
So they could have had
you
10 years ago.
Well, it could have been 5 years.
Wow, but
5
nothing
years,
recent in the last year or two.
It can't be in the year, year or two. Now, what can the loan be used for? What can the 504 loan be used for? Okay. You can buy land and an existing building which is on the land.
Wow.
Okay?
Carl, are you serious?
Yes. You can pay for improvements to an existing land and facility, like adding a parking lot.
Wow.
All right?
Okay.
Connecting utilities and landscaping.
This loan covers all of that.
Covers all that. You can renovate an existing facility. So say
I see a building I like.
Building.
Yeah.
You had it for, 5 years, whatever.
Right.
And you want to do a remake. You can go get a 504 loan and do a remake.
What do you mean, like remodel, renovate that old building?
You tear all that other stuff out and you make, instead of having 10 offices, you want 2.
Right.
Or instead of 10, or instead of 2, you want 10.
Right.
You can make it any way you want. But you still got to occupy the majority of the space.
Well, at least 51%. But 51%. Like we said before, you can do a WeWork move.
You can do all that.
And rent out part of that space.
That's
or
right.
live in part of that space. Or do it all. Rent out, live,
and do whatever. Make a separate entrance.
Exactly.
Because you got the money to do it.
Right.
So, and then you can buy a new facility.
New
New
okay. So
building.
if you're a new building,
Yeah.
you want to open up a restaurant, you want a new building.
You buy a new building.
You buy a new building with the loan.
All
Now, this is my
But
only. Go ahead.
I want to finish up this.
Okay.
You can buy other fixed assets like equipment and machinery that you're using in your business.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, like you were saying, an oven. If you're a donut shop,
Oven, printer,
whatever.
I mean, you know,
Any
whatever.
kind of machinery you
Any
need.
kind of machinery. Any kind of equipment.
Okay.
Yep.
So this loan allows you to basically grow your business.
Grow your business.
It
helps you.
It helps you.
Plus, if you don't want to move, you don't have to.
What do you mean? If you don't want to move
if you
from your
got a lease.
okay. Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
have
you got
to.
a lease.
You can get the loan and buy the building.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
If
don't have to worry about
you
the
don't-
landlord telling you got to
don't
go.
have to worry about the landlord telling you, well, your lease is going up $5,000.
Right.
I've had a client, that happened to a client. Yeah. And they were like, well, I can't afford that. And the landlord was like, well, see you.
Right.
Adios, Joe.
Exactly.
You out of here. So let's talk about.
Go ahead. What were we going to say?
I was
Carl?
going to say, let's talk about what you can't use.
That's what I was
going to
ask you.
all right?
Yeah. What can't you do with this
You
money?
can't use it for working capital. It's not a capital infusion for your business.
It's only for
building, buying a
building a building, and whatever you
renovating
need
the
for that building.
Buying
Okay.
some machinery.
Okay.
You cannot buy materials, supplies, or inventory.
Okay.
All right? Mm-hmm. You can't use the money for advertising and marketing.
You cannot.
You cannot.
Okay.
You cannot use the money for normal operating expenses.
Okay.
Or for rental properties.
What do you mean
It's not
rental?
for rental. Like if you're renting some, you can't use the 504 money.
Yeah.
Hey, we say that, but
Okay.
a lot of people out there were, I'm gonna rent this building. You know, no,
Okay.
that's not what it's for.
Okay. Well, clear that up though. If you use the 504 money to buy a building for your company, then you can actually rent
You can
offices
rent out
in that building.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's different.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. You
Okay.
can do all that, but you can't rent like another building.
Right. That's
with
not
the
for your business
504
money. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what are some of the benefits of a 504 loan?
Yeah.
Low interest rate, 4 to 5%.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
4 to
5%.
percent. Okay.
Low down payment, 10%.
Yeah, 10%.
Sometimes 20, depending on the size, complexity of the project.
Right.
All right.
4 to 5%. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that.
Well, here you go too. Long-term repayment, so 10 years for equipment, 20 years for real estate.
Wow, Carl.
Yep, 4 to 5%.
For-
10 years or 20 years for real estate.
Okay, what do you mean 5%? What are you talking about?
I mean,
You mean the
for
10,
the
10% down? Oh, the 4 to 5% interest rate.
interest,
10
yeah.
years for the equipment, 20 years,
20 years for real
estate. Wow.
No additional collateral needed, so I don't have to put my house, my car, and my children
right.
and
Right.
fewer fees.
Okay.
You know, when you go into a bank, they
You
got
got
all
all these
kind of
fees,
fees.
right,
I mean,
right.
by the end of the thing, you owe $1 billion when
Right.
you only borrowed $1 million.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Amazing.
and then, you know, everybody wants to know, well, what does the SBA get out
Yeah,
of this?
what do they
You know,
want?
what's their
because
angle?
because like Janet Jackson says, what have you done for me lately? What is
Right.
it that they want, Carl?
All they want is that you are the owner-occupied person of the building,
Mm-hmm.
okay? That you actually work out of that building. Second thing is that you create jobs, because
Right.
the SBA is
That's
all
the
about
bottom
job
line.
creation.
Right.
You know,
But you can't use that money, this 504 loan money, to pay your employees. You
Nope.
can only use this money specifically for buying the building and
Buying
the
the building.
equipment.
and making those payments toward your mortgage on the building.
Right.
That's it.
But
You cannot-
you cannot hire people and
Can't hire
use
people
that
and all
loan
that.
to pay their paycheck, their salaries. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
So the other thing, Vision 2020,
Okay.
right? Moving forward, cybersecurity.
Yeah, we've talked about that several times. It seems like it's getting even more imminent that people need to know how important it is.
Man, people aren't even paying attention.
You're right. until it happens to them.
And it happened to me again. I'm like, oh my God.
Gosh, Carl.
It's like I had my credit card numbers on the wall in some restroom or restaurant somewhere.
It was like that.
But it's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to use your card and they go, oh, your card was declined. Like,
Right. Yeah. You're like, what happened?
Yeah,
Somebody
like,
else was trying to use it.
Hey, no, they used it up.
Oh my gosh, that's even worse.
You have no dough. And everybody's looking at you like, look at this guy, this bum, Get out of here. But cybersecurity affects everyone.
Yeah. What do you mean it affects everyone? How does it affect?
How many times did you swipe this week?
Yeah, at least a dozen.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's true.
So how confident were you when you swiped at the local cleaners?
I wasn't confident.
There you go.
I was scared.
Yeah,
a lot of times
are scared because we're getting caught.
Right.
And then let me tell you something else. According to CNN Business, in the last 10 months, 140 local governments, police stations, hospitals have been held hostage by ransomware.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes.
And this article is dated 10/8/2019.
Yeah,
right?
just a couple of weeks ago.
ago. So if they're doing local governments,
Police departments.
stations, now we hospitals, we're not even talking about Target and Wells Fargo and all these.
Right.
All of these people have hundreds of employees with massive credentials working on cybersecurity, and they're getting got when, the local guy, the small business, he has no one. Maybe his cousin Joe or Bubba is working on his cybersecurity.
Right.
Maybe.
Okay, so we only have 2 minutes, Carl. What do you propose? What should small businesses do?
Okay, so for example, the massive Target breach in 2013 began as a HVAC contractor that was an unfortunate victim of cyber attack. What you can do is buy cybersecurity insurance. That's number one.
Okay.
You can inventory your hardware and software and make sure your security system is up to date.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure your employees don't click on any links.
Right.
Those are just phishing scams.
Yeah.
And once they get your stuff, then they got you.
Yeah.
And we all get these videos on Facebook.
Yeah, social media.
Oh yeah, Carl, I saw you. You was naked in this video, right? Well, you know what? That's a phishing scam.
Yes, it is. Yes,
never
that's
click
happened.
on that crap.
Right.
And you see the 20 people sending you different videos.
Yes.
And these are people I hardly know. So I know they ain't communicating with me.
Right, yeah.
So we got 1 minute. Install anti-malware protection in your business when you're using Wi-Fi. First ensure that it's up to the current WPA2 standard.
Yeah.
And if you're in the cyber world, you know what that
means.
is.
Yeah.
Encrypt your data and enlist a cybersecurity expert. Most people are going to the cloud now.
Yeah.
When you go to the cloud, you're paying for cybersecurity expertise.
Okay.
And that kind of takes it away from the liability away from you.
We gotta talk about this some more. I mean, throughout the rest of the season,
we're
we
gonna
gotta
have
talk about
a couple more
cybersecurity.
people come on that know a whole lot more than me.
It's so important. It's so important. Yeah. So that's the end of the show. I mean,
folks,
that was great information.
Tune in next week for more information that will help you manage and grow your business.
Yeah, and don't forget to like us, the Small Business Report, on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We'll be right back. We'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week, baby.
Yes, so thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. This is the Small Business Report on SiriusXM Channel 141 WHUR Voices.
This has been Carl Brown and Sharrarne Morton giving you all the tools you need to succeed on the Small Business Report. Thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next week at WHUR Voices on SiriusXM Channel 141. Please don't forget to like us on Facebook. And for more tips on starting, growing, and financing your business, visit us at thesmallbusinessreport.biz.